Hello and welcome to PS Best Friends, episode 57 for the week of June 19th, 2018. As always, we are the PlayStation podcast by the community, for the community. We come to you each and every Tuesday to give you the rundown on all the latest PlayStation news you could possibly need. This week, we're pretty much just recapping E3. Jeff's back. He's back in New York. He is somehow alive. I thought he'd be sleeping right now. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be recapping a lot of stuff. There was a little bit of news we're going to sprinkle in, but it's mostly going to be E3. But we couldn't talk about it without Chicago's prodigal son, Miguel Alvarez.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Pretty good E3, huh?
Yeah, it's been crazy. And the Brooklyn bad boy himself back from LA, Jeffrey Mizrahi.
What up, what up, what up?
He's
alive.
I
am extremely excited for this episode. This is definitely going to be a good PSBF, let me tell you what. I guess let's start. Then. Yeah, let's start with, we can't really start with what we've been playing. I mean, what have you guys been playing? What you guys been up to this week besides E3 stuff?
I've been watching a real lot of the World Cup. Some crazy group stage games. It's been fucking awesome if you're a fan. And then really, I haven't fucked with anything other than some Stardew Valley on my breaks at lunch, and I've been playing a lot of Fortnite on Switch, which we'll get to. But yeah, I haven't really played anything on PS4. I haven't touched Detroit. I played some Vampire since the last time we talked, and I do enjoy it, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to play it. But Miguel, what have you been playing?
Really nothing much, man. I got it back into Battlefield 1 because of the DLC and stuff like that. Just play a couple matches. That's it, man.
I saw you on Black Ops 3 a bit.
Oh, yeah, I tried the new modes that they added. Sniper mode and what's it called? Sticks and Stones.
Ooh, they added. I didn't realize.
Yeah. It's really good. One game I played, first place. I was like, I'm out.
I'll end it on that high note.
I proved I can play it. Now I'm out.
Yeah, and besides the E3 games that we'll be talking about in a second, just been playing some Switch, Owlboy, and Monopoly. I got from GameFly as my playing games. And a quick no recommendation. Monopoly on the Switch has the longest idle times ever between people's turns and shit. It's really bad. I thought it was you could skip turns, but you cannot skip turns.
It's online?
No, but I'm playing with AI guys, and I have to
there's no fast forward either. It's one thing if you can't skip it, but you can fast forward it. But that's
nope.
Quick thing, with the World Cup going on right now, I had the feeling of I want to play FIFA for whatever reason, just because of the World Cup. So them promoting at E3 FIFA 18, it's great for me. And I was gonna buy it, but I got EA access thanks to the Xbox and EA, so that's what I'm getting. 10 hours for free, boys.
Yeah, PlayStation's.
They need to put it there quick.
We have a bunch of complaints about Sony this week, despite us being a Sony podcast. But we'll get to that. Let's get into it.
And now it is time for the E3 Islander Report.
There'll be some news.
There is a Pirates Booties worth of news this week.
A captain's count.
First up, we got from BBC.com. So this has been, we're going to jump into the quick news real fast before we go into the E3 stuff. The Fortnite debacle. You can't use your Fortnite account, your Epic account on a Switch if you already used it on your PlayStation. A lot of people are pissed off at this, and Sony's comment is this. We're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. With more than 80 million monthly active users on PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. We offer Fortnite crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity to Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on other platforms. We have nothing further to add beyond this at this point. So, of course, this statement comes after, hey, why can't I use my Switch account, the same Epic account? And I don't know, does this seem like an answer for you guys?
Okay, this is absolute bullshit, and Sony knows it, and everyone online is, I mean, there was a 40,000, upvoted thread on Reddit, within hours. Greg Miller of Kinda Funny, he's posted numerous times on Twitter saying, Sony, get your shit together. He has, as well as I have, and my wife Taylor, because she plays a lot. She plays more than me, actually. All of us have bought battle passes on our Switch accounts, which are now linked to Xbox, which means I can play on Xbox with my battle pass too. It's bullshit. I mean, it's $10. It's not that much. So If it was like $40, I wouldn't have rebought it. But $10, if me spending $10 makes a statement to Sony of, hey, get your shit together, I'm going to make it. And it's just bullshit. They're basically saying, we have the biggest install base, so we're going to do whatever we want. Miguel, go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, you probably know. I'm at the point that I played so much Fortnite at the beginning, Battle Royale, that I really don't care. I'm not going to play the game anymore. It sucks. It does suck for you guys that want to play on the Switch or in the Xbox or whatever you want to play it, that you can't bring your progress from the PlayStation to the Switch to the Xbox.
You can't even use the same account. You have to make okay, fine.
Yeah, you need to make
you can use your Xbox one. So if you have an existing one linked with Xbox, you can sign in with that.
Yeah.
And two things that I think, first of all, it's obviously that they have 80 million players pretty much on the Xbox, and they're like, on the PlayStation, they're like, you know what, fuck it. And second, it has to be something with the money, right?
I mean, money in the sense that
every time they buy, someone buys a skin or V-Bucks, they get a certain percentage.
Yeah.
On that
and
ecosystem,
that's
like if you buy it through that ecosystem.
I think that is the main thing.
Now that's not true. Well, it is so okay.
It is
true, but if you buy V-Bucks on PlayStation, you can't use those V-Bucks on iPhone.
Is that true? I don't know.
You can only it's a fact because I'm only able to use my V-Bucks on my phone that I earned through the Battle Pass, because you earn V-Bucks as you level up.
Interesting.
So it even says like you have more V-Bucks, but they're not available on this platform.
That's why. And the third thing that is probably likely, the network's all fucked up. There's a reason why they can't like do name changes and shit.
I don't buy that because there's already crossplay. Crossplay with Xbox was turned on, and they turned it. You know what I mean? I don't
think it's a technical issue.
I'm saying more like with the like purchases and stuff like that.
All right, okay, maybe.
You said it about the V-Bucks that you can't. Like I noticed it too. I was missing like 50 V-Bucks from. I played PC,
right, because it's $9.50 to buy the pass, so you have the extra 50, and
I was missing some. I was like, wait, I thought I had enough. And
I have to say, Fortnite on Switch is my fucking jam. It's because I've well documented how sick and tired and angry I would get at Fortnite on PS4, and I'm fucking totally back in it on Switch.
Wait a month or two.
I don't know, man, because it's nice.
I think it's because all the Switch scrubs are there, and you're just dominating.
Yeah, just wait
no, it's not,
because
there's plenty of people that have Season 2 skins, which means they probably came from Xbox or PC, so that's not true.
Oh, interesting.
There's a lot of people that still have John Wick skins, or they have the fucking the skins that I know were available.
I got second place in duos with a dude who was his first Fortnite match, and like I'm not that good at Fortnite, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe the first couple of days it was like that, but I mean,
yeah, the day of. But yeah, last thoughts on that before we move on to the quick news.
Yeah. You see why I was complaining of the PS4 version now?
What do you mean?
About the PC guys breaking the fucking PS4 version, especially when they added that build mode.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like you just spam it. You just spam it, dude. There's no fucking, and that's a strategy, so I guess, but you could see it now. I played like a couple matches on the Switch, and you could see the difference. Like everyone's trying to figure shit out, and I got to like second place too. Like I played 2 matches, and I'm like, it's cool.
I've had both. Where some matches I'll make top 5 easy, like cakewalk, and then other matches where there's dudes making crazy fucking like Minecraft buildings. So there's some of both. Like I said, there are a lot of people coming from. From Xbox, and there's a lot of people coming from PlayStation that they just
different.
Handheld, I think it looks the same. I haven't played it, Doc. Jeff, you said it looks bad, Doc.
I noticed a big difference, and the frame dip. There's frame dips on the game too. I noticed them.
Yes, it's not the exact one-to-one version, but we got some more news. Let's move on. The Black Ops Season Pass was announced as a thing. So Black Ops isn't going to go Season Passless. They're not going to do the no DLC thing that, or the no. Loot box, whatever, the stuff that
even though they said they would.
Yeah, they never said they would, but people thought that because Battlefield is going that route.
They haven't really commented on this pass. So
no, I mean, there's a reason why they're not saying it, but they did say when they revealed the game there was going to be free DLC after the launch, and that's why people thought that there was going to be like a free like season pass.
So they're still sticking to that, and they're saying that it's going to have actually more free content than any of their other Call of Duties did had in the past. But
the way they announced that season pass, they just
released
it on Twitter,
and they didn't say
anything.
Yeah,
because
their
they knew there
messaging
was
was
going to be
definitely
backlash.
whack on that. They kind of just sat on the sidelines as they let the internet yell at each other.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Not the greatest strategy, and of course, I think we're all anti season pass for a full $60 game that doesn't even have a campaign.
Doesn't have a campaign. If it had a
like,
campaign and you want to charge for DLC, whatever.
And we haven't even seen the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
We haven't seen.
We have no clue what it is.
The single player like little mini missions either, have we?
I mean,
No, at least
they're
not the
gonna
public.
be like 20-minute missions, bro. They're not gonna be long.
Oh, I know. They're gonna be like, you know what I was thinking they're gonna be like? They're gonna be like Unit 13 missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me like
I
3
can see
rooms.
But
I
still,
can see
yeah, I
that.
think we all agree it definitely feels weird how it's missing kind of a third pillar, and they're still asking
That's
for the
Battle
same
Royale.
price.
That's what they're replacing it with.
People need to raise their voices about this. As with
They
the
are,
Fortnite
but
thing,
they're
we
not
need
gonna
to
care.
get mad about it and just not buy it. Just don't buy it.
Let me ask.
You can buy the game, fine, but don't buy the season pass. That's how you make a statement.
I'm too weak. They already announced that if you get it on day one, you get a fourth zombie pack. So I'm have to get the thing. But
But
you
you've
don't
made the
have
point
to.
too.
You're
that
one of the
after
you're the
like
problem.
3 to 4 months, or
Exactly.
I'm sorry, actually, after let's say the third map pack, you're still only playing base games. Maybe the first map pack because they give it away
for
free.
multiplayer maps, definitely. But
So,
I'm saying zombie maps. I
For
gotta get all of
zombies,
them,
I guess. For me, I'm more for the multiplayer, and I know I'm gonna
Same.
be playing base game maps anyway, so fuck them.
for sure.
They announced that if you pre-order on the PlayStation Store, you're gonna get those 4 maps that you're getting on the PS4, on the
remake
PS3,
maps.
on the Black Ops 3. I think it's Summit, Firing Range,
Array, Firing Range, and Jungle.
those.
Yeah, so Black
And-
Ops 1 remade maps will be in Black Ops 4's base game, but if you could just want to play them now, you could
Yeah.
just pre-order the game to get it in Black Ops 3.
Who
But you
shared
can't
the
play them now
picture?
because there's no one in
Exactly.
the playlist.
Someone of you guys share
I
a
think
picture from
I thought
Reddit.
you sent it, Miguel.
Yeah,
No, it
right
wasn't
now,
me.
I guess if you look in Black
There's
Ops 3,
none.
it says 0% of players are playing in the map pack that you get for pre-ordering the
And people
Black
were
Ops 4.
complaining that they're waiting forever
job.
to play in those fucking maps because nobody's pre-ordering
Nice job,
the fucking
Activision.
maps.
Nice job, Treyarch.
So we'll have to see if maybe they make that Back to Black map pack free for Black Ops 3. We'll see what happens there.
they're not.
Why
They're gonna sell it
instead
for
of making
15.
the game a plus game, just make the map pack like a free plus download. Like,
Yeah, right.
people that are gonna play Black Ops 3 already have Black Ops 3. What the fuck?
Yeah, so there you have it. PSBF definitely expressing their
there's
distaste
some
for this Black Ops.
PlayStation
Season
noobs
Pass.
in there right now. Oh, dude, I was loving it.
That's awesome.
It's better than Christmas noobs.
Last up on quick news, we have May's top downloads for the PlayStation
could-
Store.
yeah, do it really
some
quick.
hits. God of War, Detroit being the top 2 on PS4 games. PSVR
Bravo.
games having Killing Floor Inclusion at number 1. Super Hot at number 5. Free-to-play games, Fortnite has been ousted.
I think
H1Z1
second
Battle
month in a
Royale
row.
is number 1.
Second month, yeah.
For the
Second
second
month in a
month,
row.
yes. Fortnite, Paladins Brawlhalla. Vita games, Persona 4 Golden, shout out. And PS Classics,
Hold on, you missed a
Destroy
Vita game. You missed 2 important Vita games actually. Stardew Valley, number
at
3,
number 3.
and Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon, number 4.
For the Vita, yes.
Oh, that's
so
right. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. So shout out to all those top sellers this month. But let's go into recapping what happened last week. So of course we had that episode. That was more, on the fly, quick thoughts, impressions on the Sony.
Jeff literally
press conference.
walking past like fucking like Neil Druckmann and like
Pretty much
the
everyone.
episode started off with him walking past Shuhei and saying hi to him. So
Yeah, if you're
was pretty cool.
wondering why Shuhei wasn't in it, it was because I saw Shuhei. It was on the thing, and then Anthony was like,
I
"Why
hit
the fuck
record
am
like
I
a second
recording
too
this?"
late.
And just hits record right there. But yeah, go check that out. You can watch the video version for that on our YouTube channel. Just search PS Best Friends. But let's start off. We already recapped some of this in some of our separated videos.
Quick,
But let's
yes.
go with EA press conference.
One thing that I gotta say about EA, and I think that's pretty much, well, I mean, 2 things probably. EA, what the fuck are they doing with a Battlefield?
dude, what the fuck are they
That's my
doing with
question.
giving us a 15-minute demo of a mobile game?
Yeah,
That was
so-
the worst part of the entire E3. What
So
the fuck
quick
are you
recap.
Oh,
doing?
that too. I forgot about that. That's so bad.
EA
I
showed
forgot.
off.
You and I are waiting for Anthem, and we're like, what the fuck is this? I went to go make like fucking lunch while we were watching that.
That's true.
I mean, and also just being there, talking about the press conference also being lackluster. I don't understand why they're separating themselves from E3. There was no EA presence on the show floor. I forgot EA was even making games.
Right, because they're
being
across
there.
the street, right?
It's like a 15-minute walk away, and
I thought it was like people say like
today's-
across the street. I literally thought it was like down the street. That's crazy.
That was a Microsoft thing, right?
Microsoft's is across the street, yeah. Which also they really don't have a presence at E3. Being at E3,
Why would they if they're across the street?
I mean, I'm saying whatever. It's just weird, if you're there, if you're not really aware of all these separate events, and maybe like your U.S. Could be like New York Post, I don't know, whatever, a mainstream news outlet, you really wouldn't be exposed to these Microsoft and EA games. But EA showed off Anthem, announced Origin Premier Service, their streaming thing,
PC,
the PlayStation Now thing, kind of. Madden 19 coming to PC. They also announced Madden 19. Battlefield 5 Battle Royale exists. Not really many details.
Showed
Jedi
absolutely
Fallen
nothing
Order is the name of a video game, and that's about it. It's
Coming out on a date sometime.
Yeah.
And the fall. He said the fall. Next
That
fall.
was the most awkward fucking announcement ever.
Yeah.
And he was making it awkward for a reason.
He
I think.
he intentionally made it awkward. It was funny. Like I like that that he did it that way. Andrea Renee, who was like,
was like, what?
She handled well. Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is gonna have Clone Wars content. Pretty cool.
Which is cool for me.
And Unravel 2, the game with the Yarny, that indie, what are they called? EA Originals.
Yeah,
game's
it's out
coming
now.
It's out now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the big one really is
But
Anthem.
that's-
We're not going to talk about Battlefield until we learn more about it. So why don't you talk to us about Anthem? You
There's
said you
out
played
there.
it, right?
If you want to know more about Battlefield, just go check gameplay on YouTube. There you go.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We'll
It's
talk
so
about
stupid.
We talk a lot about Battlefield.
Yeah.
regularly,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Anthem. Let's hear about Anthem.
Anthem, yes, I got to go hands-on. They weren't showing it at. They weren't giving hands-on demos at EA Play at all. So if you wanted to,
You
if
did
were
play
at-
it, right?
I played it. I got to touch
Okay.
control everything. So if you wanted to play Anthem at E3, you had to do it only make a meeting with the NVIDIA meeting room, pretty much. Like EA wasn't showing it. So I get there, sit down. It's 2 back-to-back PCs and then a couch and a PC. I don't know why no one was playing on the couch and the TV, but it was me and another GameSpot editor playing the game, and then 2 EA representatives, I guess, BioWare representatives, playing the game with us, and then a 5th guy pretty much like coaching us through the experience, looking over me and the GameSpot guy's shoulders, and pretty much like directing us how to play and stuff. We got to play the demo they showed off where you fly under the waterfall section, and then like you do that. I think they call them strongholds, which are pretty much just Destiny strikes, short missions. And fuck, this game is gonna be legit. This game feels super awesome. Just like simple controls. Once you get used to it, it feels very good. It's L3 to jet around and like pretty much become like a spaceship, and then R3 to do that hover, where you could like just shoot enemies from an aerial point of view. They both use the same meters. You have like specials on your L1 and R1 that you could equip and stuff, and then you have like a super when you hit both of them. But yeah, when I was killing bigger enemies, they were dropping loot.
So there's loot, because we didn't really see loot in the demo, I don't think.
Yeah, they really didn't focus on the loot in the demo that they showed, but playing it you definitely see where it's like having that Destiny feel, where it's like, oh, they're dropping like like just a glimmer or some shit, or that guy's dropping like some tokens. That was definitely in Anthem, which is cool.
All right, so the loot is there, the gameplay is there. Story?
I mean, you're not gonna know until you actually
just didn't really show anything about the
just
story.
demo.
The demo is extremely light on story, but the things it was hinting at, it's like Anthem.
Like
I
the
think
EA representatives didn't say it, like the BioWare people didn't say like this is the universe we're building.
they gave me like a 2-sentence like setup, but
it's
I mean,
basically
it was,
what they said before the.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
You know what
it's
would be funny? If they just say that, yeah, we're gonna have more than Destiny. Don't worry.
I mean, honestly, it kind of felt the same way as like when something was like, oh, that's from the Anthem of Creation, and I don't know, that kind of just felt like the Traveler,
Yeah,
and
I was
like,
gonna say it did sound very like the Traveler and the light and the darkness and all that. Is this gonna pull you away from Destiny?
I mean, it's hard to tell until you actually play the game, dude.
I mean, I
Right.
could see it definitely if the Destiny
Here, let me ask you this.
annual pass stuff isn't that good. I could see myself playing this heavy in February.
Well,
March.
they said they're planning free ongoing content for Anthem,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
a lot of free stuff.
How the gameplay feels, do you think is better than Destiny so far?
So it's kind of saying this. I forgot to who, but it feels like what Destiny does for first person, like this is doing for third person.
Really? Okay.
Like action adventure sci-fi game like that. Like, if odd analogy, but if like Mass Effect Andromeda felt like what's a middle of the line
play
shooter.
that? You play that game?
I played Andromeda, yeah. Like if you
Is
just
the
say,
gameplay similar?
okay,
Like when you're flying
check
around.
it. So if Andromeda would feel like, I guess, like Homefront, you know, like a decent feeling first-person shooter.
Okay.
And like Destiny felt like
Homefront.
or Call of Duty. Wait, this analogy's going nowhere.
Yeah, you're lost.
Basically, you're saying like this is gonna revolutionize third-person shooters.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
It's doing what Destiny did for like what Bungie does for the first person. This is, I feel like, is going to do for the third person. It feels that good.
All right.
But yeah, so moving on.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about Jeff's thoughts on Anthem, you can check out all his blogs, and this goes for pretty much everything we're going to talk about, but check his blogs out from E3 on our YouTube page. So just go to youtube.com, type in the search bar PS Best Friends, and we have an E3 playlist that you can check all that stuff out at. But we're going to move on to the Square
and
Enix
then last
press
thing
conference.
on it, the comboing felt really cool. So like you could throw in like a freeze grenade and then a rocket. So it would, it's like the freeze grenade freezes them and the rocket blows them all up.
So it was like
but-
comboing in
Numbers
Mass
and
Effect.
combos.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Nice. I like
So the Ubisoft press conference,
it. You're just skipping Square Enix?
that was the joke. Yeah, Square Enix, they showed 2 new games. We don't really know anything about them, so we're not going to really comment
Quiet
on them
Man.
more than...
Dude, I told Anthony, hear me out, Jeffrey. You tell me what you think.
I
The
don't
Quiet
think it's
Man.
going to be that.
The
it would
Quiet
be
Man.
awesome.
That's gameplay for the Avengers game. You're creating your own character, and that's his power.
While that sounds like a really cool, awesome idea, and I totally would get behind it, I don't buy it.
That is exactly what I said.
Come on.
It would be
That'd
be funny
amazing.
if it is.
It would be the coolest reveal of a big anticipated game ever, but it is not happening.
Just like
Just
Marvel
remember-
wouldn't
just
let
remember-
them handle it like that.
Just
Then what's the other
remember
game?
House
Babylon-
from Resident Evil. Nobody thought that was it, and then bam, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, but that's Capcom. What
was
was the
the
other
other
game?
new
Babylon
game,
Falls or
come
something
on.
like that. It looks very similar. It looks like a feudal Japan setting, so it looked cool, but there wasn't really any gameplay.
Oh, I
Everything
forgot
else is
that
either
name of it.
out or is stuff that we saw trailers for elsewhere. Tomb Raider looks great, but we all knew it was going to look great.
Did an extensive demo.
They showed the
They
exact
sold
same
me
Kingdom
on
Hearts
it.
trailer as the Xbox conference.
With, I think,
weird.
one new scene of the Ratatouille, right? That was like one new thing.
I thought they added the Aqua with the Sith eyes, but I could be wrong.
Either way.
But yeah, that's really it. So we'll move on to the Ubisoft.
But
press
yeah, I
conference.
mean, shouting out to our predictions that we'll talk about later. No Marvel and no Final Fantasy. Wow, I don't know how they managed to skip those. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
So Miguel and I talked about the Ubisoft conference quite a bit last week. Did you play anything from the Ubi conference?
So they showed off Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Beyond Good and Evil 2, the new Just Dance, which is coming out to the Wii, funny enough. Division 2, Starlink. Oh, there you go. I was about to just name all of them and say I didn't get to play any of them, but then I forgot Starlink is actually a... I did get to play that. And then they also did the For Honor and then the Skull and Bones. They had a
didn't
bunch of
play
these
the
games
Division.
at the show floor, but I just didn't manage to play any of them. But Starlink, quick thoughts.
Disappointed.
The game, like, actually is pretty cool. It seems really open.
Is the gameplay fun? Like, is it fun? That's all I care about.
The gameplay is tight, but it's just like it's like a code thing. I feel like they could just fix because the enemies just feel too bullet spongy. Like they have too much health. Like
That could be
they
something
have
they're working
more
on.
health than they are like dealing. So it's like this enemy's not doing any damage to me. I'm just spending 5 minutes just like shooting at it. So if they just made that health bar shorter, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's something to work on. But I definitely want the R-Wing bundle for Switch. That looks so fucking cool. And Star Fox is one of my favorite Nintendo properties. The R-Wing is one of my favorite ships of any science fiction. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, no, I got to play with the R-Wing. Nice, Miguel showing us a 404 error. on
Remember
the
what
website.
you guys sent earlier about Beyond Good and Evil?
Oh, the
Oh,
links
they
down?
removed that link.
Yeah, they removed it.
So real quick, I shared a link with the guys earlier. It was a GameInformer.com link stating that Beyond Good and Evil 2, there was going to be a beta for it at the end of next year, meaning the end of 2019. And I said this game is coming out in 2057. So yeah, that's removed. So that's redacted. I
And they
guess.
removed that article, so yeah.
But
That means
yes,
playing
I
Galaga.
actually
Didn't
got to
think we
play
saw it,
with
but we
the
did.
R-Wing, and you could actually customize that ship as well. You could put like different guns on
nice.
it and stuff, so you could like have the R-Wing with like the basic pointy wings, but then like have like huge turrets on it as well. It's pretty cool.
I do gotta give it to Beyond Good and Evil 2. That CG trailer look nice.
It looks like a really cool game in a really interesting world, but it's like, when am I getting it? When could I play it?
I don't even know what it is.
It's 2-3 years from now. Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks. Woo.
Yeah, I did get to see over some people's shoulders some gameplay of that, and it looks like the Brotherhood to Origins, So like Brotherhood was like a spin-off of, or how would you say? Like a sequel
continuation of the story. Yeah.
It is more appealing to me.
I told Miguel I'm glad that I didn't play Origins so that I don't have Assassin's Creed fatigue for this year, because this one I really want to play.
This one looks wild.
And I'm surprised they didn't play the Division 2 neither. I'm like...
Yeah, and I wanted to play the Division 2, and shout out to that for also having free content post-launch. They're adding free... There's going to be raids for the first time in Division, 8-player raids. Those are going to be free. That's some really cool stuff.
And shout out, they're still adding free content to Division 1.
Yep.
And as you earn stuff in the free content for Division 1, you earn the badges, which carry over to Division 2. So I want to start playing it again, but it's just like when do I have time? But I do want to start playing it if I can squeeze it in.
I'm a little skeptical though, because can everything really be free in Division 2? It's like they have to have some.
Well, in Division 1. Okay, so let me explain Division 1 real quick for you. Division 1 is the perfect model for a game, pricing wise. So the main game. So there's like the overworld. There's the giant map of Manhattan. All the expansions that came to that main kind of instance was free. All of it free. The DLC that you paid for with the season pass, I think it was like $30-$40. That was all stuff that was in a different instance of the game. So like the underground mode, that it was kind of like a trials mode, and any gear you earned in that you brought back to the main game, but it was separate. So you couldn't just like walk into it; you had to load into it. And underground was completely separated. And the Last Stand obviously was PvP, completely separated. So you could
Survival was in that world, but it was just different, the gameplay.
Well, it was the same map, but it was a separate instance of the map.
Battle Royale.
That's perfect. All of the actual main single-player content that they added post-launch, all of the I forgot, they're like kind of like strikes. I forgot what they're called, but all those were completely free. And the paid stuff outside of the 3 expansions, it's just skins and stuff that you buy the division skins. Points or whatever the fuck they're called. But that's like the perfect model. Or you're able
to buy Phoenix coins too. So
no, Phoenix credits you couldn't buy. Phoenix credits is what you spend at the to buy better gear.
There was some currency you were able to buy skins.
Yeah. The paid currency only got you skins. It didn't give you better weapons.
True.
So without the expansions, the paid expansions in Division 2, we're assuming that they're just going to still keep in the cosmetic microtransaction system.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
And maybe that will support the game. I'm just hoping they don't go any further than that, like charge for guns or something. I don't know.
Hope not.
Next up, and did anything else speak to you at Ubisoft's? Pretty light. I mean, what we expected, really.
I like the Dancing Panda.
The dancing, I like how they started off with Just Dance and they didn't even show anything. They're like, and that's a video game.
They announced the new motorcycle game. What's the name of it?
Oh, Trials. Yeah, wow. Okay, that's not here. Trials Rising. I actually got a little patch from it at the booth, showing to the camera now. It's like one of the things you sew onto your bag. Trials Rising. Feels like classic Trials. It has co-op now, so you could be racing players, which is cool. Like kind of Excite Bike style. If you're into Trials, good game.
Yeah, I mean the main things for me were Division 2, definitely Odyssey. That was a big one. Skull and Bones looks fucking rad, man. I mean, I know it's not coming out for a long time, but that's gonna be like For Honor, where people are gonna sleep on it, and then there's gonna be a bunch of people that say, "Yo, this game is really fucking fun," and no one's gonna play it, but there's gonna be a hardcore fan base behind it, just like For Honor. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, that seemed to start coming into its own, rather than, hey, this just looks like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag.
That's definitely like what it looked like it started as, like kind of they took the pirate stuff from Black Flag and made it its own game, but it definitely looks like it's turning into its own game, which is awesome.
And now you're the only one here who owns For Honor, right? So correct. Does the
I mean, I don't own any of the DLC. I only have the base game.
Does this new thing entice you at all, or same level?
If I was still into it, it would be cool just to have more content. But yeah,
but it's not bringing you back.
That's a game I play when I'm really bored. I'm like in that classic mood that I talk about all the time, where I don't know what to play, and I hop on for 2 or 3 matches just to chop people with swords.
Next up, Bethesda started their presentation off with a little bit of awkwardness. Andrew WK came out, played a song, and then showed off Rage 2. This would have been wild if we didn't know Rage 2 existed, but that's also kind of a trend throughout this whole E3. We'll talk about it after at the roundup, but most of this was leaked, almost like
what
everything we said.
Had been better if he was doing his little performance. Yeah. The extra trailer was playing.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Instead of finishing that and then be like, "Hey, okay, here's the trailer now." I'm like, "What?"
So this game looks cool. It looks like Borderlands meets like
Bulletstorm?
meets Bulletstorm meets Mad Max, which is kind of a wacky
it's definitely
hybrid.
Bulletstorm, Mad Max, Doom style. No Borderlands really.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like everyone was saying Borderlands, but you're right.
Dude, the first trailer they released, it looked like you were gonna be able to co-op or.
Yeah, so I got to play a demo of this as well. Feels very, classic id shooter. I didn't play Rage 1, disclosure. But it definitely has that. So you have like these powers also. So like you do like I think slams was one of them, like slam down, area of effect attack. And then you could go like in rage mode also, and do more damage. Felt good. It didn't really like stick out like, oh, I gotta get this game, or like this game's awesome. It was cool. It wasn't as I guess void of color as Rage 1 was. It seemed like they really stressed getting color everywhere. Yeah, and also they did stress to me it is single player only. It is not multiplayer. What?
All right, so then
you didn't touch the vehicles.
No, I did not get to play any vehicles.
Because that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, the mission I did was pretty bare actually. It was like defeat all these enemies in this building and like pretty much like go like floor to floor.
Pretty much shoot shit.
Yeah. It was just like showing off the gameplay.
But yeah, so we also got... Yeah, go ahead.
After Rage 2, they showed off Blades. Wait, I don't think this is in order, but whatever.
Elder Scrolls Blades.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Blades for mobile. I also got to play this, and this one I'm actually more hyped on than Rage. This is
That's crazy.
It has great graphics. The gameplay really fits itself well for mobile. It could be played both in landscape and in portrait, which is key for a trained rider like myself on the New York subways. Having one-hand games is awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, not much else to say about it.
There really wasn't any gameplay showed for any of these games, so we should try and get to them a little quick. But
yeah. So they talked about Doom Eternal. No gameplay for that, but they showed like that small trailer.
And QuakeCon.
Cool.
Hell Comes to Earth. That's the cool thing.
They're gonna show more in QuakeCon. So
yeah. Oh, when is that? Do you have a date for that? QuakeCon?
I have no clue, man. Couple months. I think it's in August.
Yeah, it's usually summer. Wolfenstein: The Youngblood co-op game announced. You're playing with BJ's two twin daughters, correct?
Yep, his two twin daughters. I don't know if they gave names, but yeah.
And I think in the 80s as well.
Yep, 80s. So this isn't the true Wolfenstein 3. This is kind of a segue game, I think.
Yeah, they didn't show this off at all, but it sounds.
This is like the what was it called? Older, I think it was called.
The
like the
Old
extra
Blood
like
also.
Old Blood. There we go.
Makes sense. Both having blood in the name. But the reason why it's not really Old Blood is because they kind of had already DLC and like short missions for Wolfenstein 2. Those three separate.
Well, but they also didn't they have DLC for Wolfenstein: The New Order, and then the Old Blood was a separate. Like you could buy Old Blood standalone.
No, Wolfenstein. Oh, I mean it was standalone, but the Wolfenstein New Order's DLC was just Wolfenstein and then Old Blood, whereas Wolfenstein New Colossus has Wolfenstein New Colossus, the three missions, and then
I mean it's
this.
I would still think it's kind of.
But this is more like the Old Blood than extra DLC.
It's going to be a whole thing. Co-op sounds cool for Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein is awesome. I love this. They also showed off, which isn't listed here, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is the VR game, which I didn't get to play. I saw and I heard from other people speaking on the show floor, said it's pretty boring. It's pretty much the demo at least, is you're just in a one of those mechanical dogs, and you're just pretty much walking around breathing fire on people.
I thought you were gonna be able to hack stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. I think it's Cyberpilot. You're controlling. You hack into the Nazis' dog, and then you run around their base and stuff and fuck shit up there. Then Fallout 76 going to be entirely online. 4 times the size of the map of Fallout 4. Not your standard Fallout game, but it's still going to have RPG systems and all that. Not a battle royale.
I need to see more information about this because I'm kind of still a little turned off by it, but I got to hear more about it.
I mean,
I don't like the idea that I can
to,
build all kinds of stuff up and then some random dude just nukes my shit.
That's what it is, man. You're comparing it to what is it? What's that fucking game on PC? Rust and some other game.
Yeah, like the Daisy.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just saying that because those sound cool. Like, whoa, I could do this whole thing, and someone just nukes it. Crazy. Where I feel like the actual execution is going to be more like Phantom Pain, where it's like no one's really invading your shit all the time. Like that could happen, but you could just play.
That did happen like 3 days straight. I got wrecked in Phantom Pain one time though.
Oh yeah, maybe. But
it's like the more you attack, the more you get attacked in Phantom Pain. Okay. And same with Peace Walker.
I mean, they did say there were gonna be actual dedicated servers for this, so I assume there's gonna be a bunch of people in one map in one server.
I'm sure you could play some type of pacifist mode. I don't think really worrying about your shit getting blown up is a major concern.
Imagine getting nuked all the time.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff they announced: Fallout Shelter on PS4 and Switch. Cool, whatever. It's been on Xbox for forever, and it was on iOS originally. Mysterious Starfield game finally revealed, so that we've known about this for forever. They didn't show anything about it. And then the big one that we all knew was coming, but we all knew that we weren't going to see anything about it either, and that's the Elder Scrolls 6. It has the Dragonborn theme on it, which is weird, so it's either going to be in Skyrim again, or it's going to be all of Tamriel, which would be fucking bonkers. But that game, they said this is the game they're working on after Starfield.
These two games said there was
far away.
Next generation.
Yeah, so we're not seeing either of those two games for a long time, so that's why I don't want to dwell on them.
Yeah, they kind of like specified their plans. Like, all right, our next game is Fallout 76. Once that ships, our next game is Starfield. Once that ships, then Elder Scrolls, which is a cool take on, like, game companies don't really announce games that far in advance.
And no, they did it for a reason.
Because they're just sick of getting asked about fucking ES.
Which I like.
No, it's not even that. What did Pig Hine said at the beginning when he was talking about Rage? Something about Walmart.
Joke about the
you guys remember what Walmart thing?
Oh yeah. He's like, good guys to do partners with or something. Or like, I don't know. It was funny. That was a good jab at Walmart Canada. But I mean, I've always been for game publishers being more open with
me too.
Their to be like movie companies where Marvel says what they're doing for the next 10 years. Like, why not do that in games?
And then you get Square Enix.
Especially for the big ones, though. Like, small stuff, you just keep it close so you surprise us, once in a while.
But, I mean, it's just so hard to surprise people.
True.
Microsoft press conference.
QuakeCon is August 9, just in case you guys are
cool.
interested.
Nice. So we'll get more Bethesda information there. But that's enough Bethesda. Moving on to now Microsoft show, which I thought was awesome, but, since...
I thought it was great.
Show.
I thought it was awesome,
Thinking on it, I think it might be my favorite press conference. I love Sony's for how personal it was, but they didn't really show anything new. I thought Xbox, as far as the excitement factor goes, I think they were the best.
They start off with Halo Infinite coming 2019. The next Halo, really no information about it, no gameplay. Which
they showed in-engine footage because they're using a new engine.
They kept specifying this new engine, but it's like, guys,
it means nothing to us.
Yeah, show us why a new engine means something. Shadows Die Twice ain't Bloodborne. It's actually a From Software game published by Activision. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is coming out next year. Metro Exodus coming February 2019. I got to play it. I broke 2 stations.
Nice.
I mean, maybe the game seemed pretty buggy because there were a bunch of guys that had set up systems that would be playing pretty much at the same pace as everyone in the room. So just in case yours did crash or whatever, all right, just jump on this system and continue playing where you just were. So that was nice of them, but. Looks cool. It's actually very much outside of the Metro, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, so this whole demo was above ground. Are we going to see the Metro in this game? And he's like, we'll save that for the game. So maybe it's some cool story thing.
Well, it's Metro Exodus, so maybe they're leaving.
True, maybe leaving the thing. Then they showed off how Microsoft acquired 5 new studios.
Which Miguel and I talked about this last week, and it's
the first one's Playground Games, which is the guys that do the
Forza Horizon studio. They are also working on a third-person game that everyone is thinking is Fable, but it's not confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the second one is Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, here's the
which
surprise.
Is great.
Yeah, no one really expected developers of Hellblade being picked up by Microsoft.
It was a little telegraphed by Hellblade coming to Xbox recently, but I mean, how are we supposed to know
was
that?
I mean...
So. But that's awesome for them. I'm glad they're going to get the support. There was actually, I think, Miguel, you might have sent it to our group chat, where it was a video of them saying, pretty
much saying...
Xbox literally is just supporting whatever they want to do, and that's fucking awesome. And I'm glad that they're doing that.
But the question is the Xbox audience the people buying Hellblade? You know?
Well, who knows? I mean, if it launched on Xbox, maybe. We don't know.
I just hope though, like Ninja Theory doesn't make a game, it flops on Xbox, and then like something happens to the studio. That would suck. But
let's
okay.
Yeah,
see what they do.
That's in the future. Let's not.
Yeah, let's be happy for them now that they're doing what they want to do.
This one's the one that I'm not surprised. Undead Labs, the guys that made State of Decay 2.
Yep.
That's like no surprise.
Yeah.
4-1 is Compulsion Games. The guys doing We Happy Few. It still hasn't shipped for whatever reason. I think they're focusing more on story. Yeah, they're focusing more on story, which is cool. And the new one, they just announced, I think it's gonna be in Santa Monica. I think
Santa Monica. Yep.
The Initiative.
The Initiative. Yeah. Weird. I mean, like we don't really know anything about them, but it seemed like they were looking for some like
it's a new studio.
Flaws.
So new studio.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Jeff, did you play? And if you didn't play them, let's move through them quick. But did you play Devil May Cry 5? Was that playable or no?
Devil May Cry wasn't at the show.
Okay,
Gears 5 wasn't at the show. Dying Light 2 wasn't at the show. These are all things that Microsoft announced. They also showed off the Division 2 again. I didn't play that, of course. Forza Horizon 4 has seasons.
That's the one I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
If that leaked price drop to $350 for the Xbox One X was real, I was going to buy one for Forza Horizon 4, but I was going to buy it too. So I'm just going to use my 1S for that.
I'm surprised there's no Forza Horizon 5
for like an hour though. It was $350 for like an hour.
Yeah,
I think it was like an hour.
I was going to trade shit in for it, so I wouldn't straight buy it.
They show a big one.
Yeah, and then they ended off, of course, on Cyberpunk 2077, the thing that everyone at E3 was talking about. They also, funny enough, gave this huge-ass like statue figurine, like one of the things Miguel has behind him, in this like 12 by 12 like huge cube box that like everyone who walks out of the behind closed doors viewing gets. But like if you did the viewing in the morning, you're fucking walking around all day with this huge-ass heavy box.
That's funny.
Fuck.
But yeah, I don't really... I mean, the trailer looks awesome. From what I heard, people talking about the Behind Closed Doors demo sounds insane. Are you guys hyped at all on this?
Yep. It sounded amazing.
I mean, I was excited for it before. I'm not any less excited. I didn't see any gameplay, so I don't know. You know what I me? Like, I'm as excited as I was. It's first person, which is interesting, because we all assumed it was third person.
People are saying that this is what Call of Duty did to first person a couple years ago. They're doing it again. Like, they're innovating, I guess, in first person. There's something, I don't know exactly what they were talking about, but there's something in the mechanics there's like innovating.
And another thing, Alana Pierce at IGN, she said that she definitely doesn't think this is going to be rated for Australia. She said it because
I don't
know if it's graphic or explicit or what. But,
nudity, and you're able to actually buy prostitutes or something like that. And
I mean,
I'm like, wow.
Speaking of that, the statue they were giving out was a figurine. Was like this chick was like this dead prostitute robot with like her head ripped off and like kind of like I don't know, like leaning forward.
I mean, they're going all out, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Also, I like the one cool thing that people have been talking about is there's one of your stats is a cool stat. So pretty much based on what you're wearing and stuff,
how cool you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the charisma stat, I guess, from like Fallout.
Yeah, true.
So it's like.
That's like fucking. What game is it? I was just playing a game recently that has that too.
In the game or what?
It impacts, I guess, how people react to you, how cool you look, which makes sense.
There was a game I was playing recently. Cosmic Star Heroine. Like if you wear cool items, it gives you bonuses in combat. It's funny.
But yeah, so Microsoft showing games. Really, that was their messaging, and I think we all agree that was awesome.
Last one before Sony.
Nintendo, they started off a little weird. Daemon X Machina, spiritual successor to Armored Core. GameCube controllers for Smash. Smash Bros. Ultimate. I was trying to avoid saying that.
Everyone is here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Snake, Cloud, Ice Climbers, Pichu, Young Link.
When I saw Ice Climbers, I was like, Colin Moriarty would be happy.
And then Fortnite they announced was on Switch. A big surprise.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is the next main Fire Emblem game that looks crazy.
Looks good.
full 3D coming out next year. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 getting some DLC, and of course Ridley's in Smash, and just some other ports coming out. Overcooked 2, that looks awesome. Not a port, that's a new game. And then Dragon Ball FighterZ, I also got to play.
Super Mario Party.
Oh yes.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited for this. I can't fucking wait.
Awesome.
I've been really craving a Mario Party lately, and it's perfect on Switch portable. So I'm super excited for that.
Back to basics, not in a fucking car, separate, walking around the map. Very excited.
And you could fucking attach 2 separate Switches to each other to expand like mini game like maps. I'm excited.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
So now let's get to what you all were waiting for, and that is the Sony conference, which we did talk about last week, but I want to know what you played at this. So a quick recap. They showed off Spider-Man, a cool, awesome-looking gameplay demo for it. They showed off Ghost of Tsushima gameplay. They revealed Resident Evil 2 Remake, which looks awesome, and Death Stranding with gameplay, which was crazy. And then the opening one, of course, was The Last of Us 2 with gameplay. So pretty much everything they showed was with gameplay. The Remedy game called Control. Why don't you start with that? Because I know you didn't play it, but you were next to a guy that was playing it.
Yeah, so also here's some behind the scenes on how these behind closed doors, I know you always hear the words behind closed doors, but how it actually works. It's pretty much you go into a room, you have an appointment, let's say 3 o'clock, 5 other journalists or whatever, media people walk into the room with you, you all take a seat, there's a dude talking, and then there's a dude holding the controller, and pretty much the guy's walking you through it while another guy's playing, and, pretty much doing that classic, like, walking slowly, panning slowly around. Pretty much just because like the game's not ready for everyone to put their hands on it, and like there's probably a bunch of bugs and stuff that the guy's avoiding. But the game itself,
or maybe there's debug commands on the controller or something.
Yeah, that he's like doing special stuff. Game looks awesome. It's an action adventure game. He kept stressing it's not, it's not a narrative, linear, story-based walking simulator. Not at all. It's an action adventure game. It's open world in this very weird. So pretty much like the premise behind this game, it's supernatural. It's not really sci-fi, it's more supernatural. And you're now the president, or the president of the Federal Bureau of Control. Think like FBI, but for more, I guess, supernatural things, like some Area 51 type stuff.
Men in Black. Think about Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black, very Men in Black. And you have this special weapon and the special powers. The weapon's like this pistol that looks really cool, that seems like it feels very like fun to shoot and like powerful. It's like you're like whipping off like bad guys, like boom, boom, boom.
That's the pistol, right? That was on the trailer. Okay.
That like breaks up into parts.
So what I got out of the gameplay trailer they showed is it looks like they took Quantum Break and turned it up to 11. Is that kind of what you got out of it?
Yeah, definitely. The biggest focus, which I like, is how unlinear it's going to be. So there's side quests.
No TV show episodes in the middle, right?
Yeah, no. You're not going to put the controller down pretty much for this type of game. There's like these side missions where it's like people like asking for help. Like this guy was like in this weird containment area. He's like, oh, finally someone's here to help.
I heard about that one.
Help me. And like you could either help him out there or just walk by.
Was the guy that was looking like at a fridge or something?
Yeah, he was in some like weird,
and they told him to look at the fridge and don't stop staring at it.
I think so.
Because I think they were talking about it, kind of funny. And pretty much it was, you had the option to do his quest, but if he chose not to come back later, he started screaming like, "No, help me! I can't move. I can't stop staring at it, and my eyes hurt," or something like that.
Yes, yeah, he was doing that. It was very surreal. Also, the whole world, and like the open worldness works where it's like the hub area is the building, but like every like so levels I guess are like told by like walking into different hallways or something, and now it's like you're in a different dimension type thing, or like opening a door, now you're in a different area.
So like the warp doors in Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, or I guess paintings in Mario 64.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. Did you get to play any of the big four? I mean, I'm assuming Last of Us wasn't playable, and Death Stranding probably. So did you play Spider-Man? Did you play Spider-Man? Did you play Ghost of Tsushima?
There were behind closed doors demos that I didn't get to see of Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us, and they were pretty much showing the same things that they did, with the HUDless and things. I did get to play Spider-Man and Days Gone. Spider-Man.
I want to hear about Days Gone.
Spider-Man is awesome. Swinging around New York City just feels so good. The combat just is near perfect. The only downside I'd say, without, I sound pretty like hyperbolizing right now, is that it's kind of a little too fast, where it's like you kind of like button mashing gets you through areas. So like I guess like you don't really have like full control, or like I guess once you start realizing what each button does, and you play for a longer time, it feels better. But that's like really the only slight downside I could say.
All right, tell me about Days Gone.
Days Gone is cool, is interesting. I'm not totally sold on it. The demo I got to play was what they showed before. The first part was I rode up a bike to like a gas station and pretty much had to like find another part or something. And there were a bunch of these little like small freakers that I had to get around and find the key to the place and open the door up and stuff. It was cool from what I played. Standard third person open worlds type game. Like think Horizon or Assassin's Creed, like that style of like mission structure. And then the mission after that was a huge horde of zombies in this pit, and pretty much you have to kill them all. And I kept dying because I wasn't really sure what to do. Like, am I supposed to use my LMG just to mow them all down? Am I supposed to throw traps? I figured out that if you throw remote explosives near each of these oil tanks that would blow like explosive barrels, classic video game stuff, you could kind of loop them around each barrel, because like they're placed in different areas, and then like shoot at the barrels, and then the remote detonations would turn on and kill them that way. It was cool. I mean, there was no real issues I had with the game. It was more of just it didn't sell me. It wasn't anything.
It's gonna
exciting.
be one of those games if you're in the mood of playing like an open world
game.
If
you're in the mood to play
I think it's releasing in the perfect time for me. I think February, same slot.
I mean, there's
Horizon.
like fucking 20 games coming out that day, so
I know. See, that's what I'm pissed about. That Anthem's coming out at the same time.
That game's getting delayed.
Because I don't want to fall behind in Anthem, but I really want to play Days Gone.
That game's getting delayed.
Yeah, but for Days Gone, last thing, I don't want to sound harsh on it. I know I'm probably coming off negative, but I'm just trying to, I guess, get across that it didn't wow me as much as, like, I guess, Spider-Man did, or
you think
other games do.
You think that Horizon and God of War is hurting that game?
Maybe, because, like, I'm, like, expecting that high caliber, but, I mean, I could see someone loving this. It's an open world zombie game. At points, it really feels straight Walking Dead, which is really cool. It kind of feels like a Norman Reedus character, Daryl.
You're still surviving, bro. Yeah, because you're still gotta get stuff for your bike.
Yeah.
I'm sure
it looks like what I wanted out of State of Decay 2.
Yeah. I feel it's definitely more refined than what I played years ago, State of Decay 1. So it feels like
Decay 2 is still kind of jank. It's good, but it's kind of jank.
The bases, like there's different type of bases, and if you focus a lot in one base, you can actually get stuff from there, and the other bases are gonna like you're gonna get
take shit.
Pretty much, you're taking shit from the other bases. So you gotta like figure out which ones to help and which ones not.
There were some
definitely
cool
see
factions.
more of this at Paris Games Week, right? You think?
Yeah, for sure. And then last thing, I guess, Spider-Man. I think I told you guys this, but PlayStation, I don't know how their studio's doing it, but with feel, like you could compare the feel of like swinging in New York to that feel of what you call back a Leviathan axe in God of War. It's just like they get it, like the small things, they just get it so right. But yeah, great showings.
Awesome. Did you get to play, before we move on, did you get to play Resident Evil Remake?
No, that was the biggest line, actually. Catch the interview that's going to play after this episode with my friend Roye Bustan. He had a gamer pass at E3, and pretty much we talked for like 10 minutes about his experience there, and he tried getting on the Resident Evil 2 line, but it was just huge, and yeah, that was a packed situation. But though I heard people who played it loved it.
So it's in the Resident Evil 7 engine, but it is third person. So that's cool. So I'm excited to see more about that. That was one of my favorite announcements.
And it's coming out soon too, which is surprising.
Yeah.
What was it, January 25th, I think? 25th, 29th?
January 29th, I think.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because when we started the stream, obviously you're on the fucking church thingy from The Last of Us.
Like the 10th.
You thought, the 10th. Did you thought you were going to be there the whole time?
Yeah, straight up. So we're in this, this hot church, standing up, just a bunch of games media, and we're all aware of how long a PlayStation presentation is. It's an hour plus, and we're like, are we actually going to be standing up this whole time? It's like kind of uncomfortable. But then luckily it wasn't. We saw the amazing gameplay, which looked awesome. and then they're like, all right, now moving to the next room. And we all
Okay,
just
let
go
me stop
outside.
you here. So when pretty much the demo, they showed the demo, they stopped. We got whoever was watching it a little like the pre-show thing they were doing.
It was very similar to
throughout
the
week.
pre-show, but in the middle of the show.
Yeah, in
so
the
it went
middle of the
back
show.
To, it
They
went
announced a
back
couple
to
things.
Sid Schumann and Ryan Clements.
Yeah, and then
Sean
you
Layden.
guys were doing what?
We
just being seated?
walking across the bridge, looking at the nice little
Which
Ghost
looked
Tsushima
like
set.
what? Like there you go.
Yeah, so imagine just like a wooden. Honestly, imagine a Disneyland or just like a theme park setup. So like like things that would like get you into the atmosphere and that like you
Right,
exist
just
in
kind
this
of
world.
stationary stuff around them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so it was mostly just getting everyone seated, really, because
Yeah,
I
so
got a
while
nice.
that happened, we got stuff that you didn't get to see until we had to tell you about it. There was that really cool Destiny 2 trailer featuring what's his name?
Cade 6, yeah,
Cade 6
getting shot.
getting one
Got
piece,
shot in the head. Yep.
and the announcement of Black Ops 3 with the map pack, which we talked about earlier in the
And
show.
the God of War is getting the
The new game plus.
gameplay.
Yep.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
it's just interesting that there's stuff you got to experience because you were there, but we got stuff that you didn't get because we were watching on stream. So it was very interesting the way they did it. I don't think they should do it again, but for doing
they
it
tried
once,
something
it was
new.
cool.
I don't think it worked.
That's what I'm saying. It was cool that they did something new, but I hope they don't do it again.
Yeah, I said a little last week, but I got to talk to Sean Layden actually somehow afterwards, and was pretty much asking him like what was the thinking behind this, and he's like, we have these games that exist in these like amazing worlds, and we want to kind of show that off more and focus on those worlds. It didn't. He's like, we'll see, we'll check afterward, because this was literally 5 minutes after the thing. Like he's like, we'll see if it works out. We'll see the response, the the reactions. Maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll do something totally different. Here at PlayStation, we like mixing it up, which is like classic Sean response. But it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
One thing, was there anything from Death Stranding, like demo or anything there? Because the demo that we saw, the trailer or whatever it was, I have no clue what the game is still.
Nothing. Nothing specific. They had the Norman Reedus statue, which I have a picture of.
Okay.
I have some video of that also in the vlogs things. But yeah, no actual Death Stranding stations. But speaking also back to what they showed, they did show Destiny in the middle, and Javesh Hanuman writes on Facebook.com/PSBestFriends. So Facebook.com/groups/PSFriends. /PSBestFriends, where you could post as well. He writes, thoughts on Destiny 2 for Taken. Specifically, will this be a Taken King-like recovery for Destiny? So I won't go into full detail on everything I got to do. I have a video actually up on the PS Best Friends channel for that. But yes, I think this is very much Taken King style recovery. I think it's going to actually have more than what Taken King did for Destiny. They're entirely retooling the weapon system. Everyone's getting 3 new supers, which is really cool, or 3 new variants for supers. New weapon class. I mean, it seems the story's awesome. I got to play the first mission, really enjoyed that. It seems like it's going to be a Taken King style thing.
Yeah, I called this when the game came out, that the 2 expansions that they announced were going to be crap, and then the big like year 2 DLC would be like the Taken King-esque. So no surprise really.
But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely not anything less than Taken King, which I guess should quell people's concerns.
Yeah. So also from the Facebook group question, we got 2 more questions, just because I got a heart out, so we got to kind of move along a little bit. Nathaniel Hicks, he says he actually has 2 questions, one for Jeff and then one for Miguel and I. So Jeff, in your opinion of the games you played or saw, what is the potential game of the year coming out of E3?
I'm gonna have to say, really, coming out of E3 for 2018, because funny enough, most of the stuff that was there was 2019. But I'm gonna have to give it to Spider-Man. It really is, everything I said. It feels so good. The story so far looks amazing, just from those story trailers. This really could be up in top 3 games of the year.
Nice. And then Nate asks Miguel and I, what's the biggest disappointment for you 2 coming out of E3? Miguel, what would you say? Black Ops Pass?
How they're handling Black Ops and Battlefield, my opinion.
For me, I don't know. I think I just think the EA conference as a whole, I think, was just a disappointment.
Well, you
weren't excited. You weren't excited
that-
for FIFA, the UEFA Champions thing coming?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're adding UEFA
That's a
Champions
plus.
League and Europa League. I don't know, like, the biggest disappointment,
Are you disappointed that anything wasn't shown? I guess by an absence.
Or that, yeah.
no Bloodborne sequel.
Sekiro, though, the Sekiro Shadows Dice Twice, from everyone that got to see Behind Closed Doors, says that is...
biggest disappointment, the Fortnite shit with the PlayStation accounts.
There
That's
you go.
my
That's a
biggest
good one.
disappointment.
And then last up on things I got to play, Joel Campos writes, do you think it's fair for a press outlet to award Game of the Show based off of a game demo that was only seen behind closed doors? It seems that many outlets are doing this for Cyberpunk 2077. Seems like a kind of gray area to me.
I don't think so, because the media outlets are just giving their Game of the Show for things that they played. So if it's out of all the
they saw,
pool
'cause
of
they
things
played
they
it.
played, then I think that's
They
fair.
didn't play it.
If it was
They
if it was
saw
like
it.
the Game Awards, then I guess. But I mean, if it's like IGN's Game of the Show,
This
and it's out of
thing,
Games
it's
IGN's league.
mostly what has the more hype that they got hype for. That's
Yeah,
what
true.
it is. There's no, because technically, if it's the game that they played, it's probably Spider-Man.
The only thing that I find kind of a gray area about is that Cyberpunk 2077 is most outlets' Game of the Show, but we don't know what the fuck it looks like.
Yeah.
So I think
Exactly.
that if that's what you're saying, Joel, then I think I agree with you to an extent.
Yeah. I mean, well, the award in itself is really game. It's pretty
Kinda
much
silly.
what was the
'Cause how many-
most. Because it's not judging anything on its final product, of course. It's
That's
literally
what I was going to say. How
was
many
the best
games of the
at
show came out and totally underperformed? I'm sure a bunch of them.
Scribblenauts won Game of the Show all across
there's
the
a
board that one year.
Bunch
And,
of games that you played.
That's kind of crazy. So there is no drop officially this week, but there is a list from PlayStationLifestyle.net. So Jeff, why don't you go ahead and we'll just run through these real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a good list of games. MotoGP 18 this happened last week. Jurassic World Evolution, Moss physical release, Super Bomberman R, Lego The Incredibles.
And this is this week.
And then this week.
Yeah, Lego The Incredibles
yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, during E3 as well.
Movie.
Anima Gate of Memories, The Nameless Chronicles for PS4, The Lost Child PS4, Mucinix PS4, sounds like a congestion drug. New Gundam Breaker PS4, The Crew 2
That's next
PS4
week. So I don't know
next
why you
week,
added
yeah.
them.
Luminous Remasters and Rainbow Skies are next week.
Oh, Rainbow Skies is finally coming out.
Yeah.
That's cool. I gotta check that
and
out.
shout out Luminous Remastered. I got to play Tetris Effect, the PSVR Tetris game by the Luminous guys.
Did you play it in VR?
I played it in VR.
Nice.
I wouldn't really. I guess if you're going for the experience, play VR. But if you're going for lines, don't play in VR because every time.
This is what I'm hearing from it, dude.
Yeah, every
'Cause you
time
said
I'd
that
get a
you're not
couple
into
lines, a bunch of particle effects would come in my face, but the pieces are still dropping, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I don't know what the hell's like.
You're like distracted.
People-
almost.
I'm heavily.
People were saying that when you got in a nice rhythm and the blocks were falling faster, you were focusing on that, and like the effects
really noticing
were
the
just in
VR
the
stuff
backward.
anyways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends, I guess, on the speed that you're playing.
Yeah.
At.
But I mean, I think they could fix that. Just move the fucking don't have anything blocking
the sides.
board. Like just put it to the side.
Yeah. And then real quick, because that's it for the fake drop. Real fast, we got to go through this. We're just gonna say the ones we got right for predictions. I only got one right. I did absolutely terrible. I had all long shots for Sony. They played it safe, so I got all mine wrong. Jeff, you have 3 correct. And yours were
Hold
the
on,
PlayStation
so Anthony,
ones.
yours that was correct was the Fallout 76 no Switch version, which is kind of surprising. We didn't see any Switch on the Bethesda stage, and then
we
there
did
was
see
gonna
for
be Fallout Shelter. True.
yeah.
Yeah, but then Miguel's was that Death Stranding, Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima would have no release dates. Got that
Ka-ching.
right. And then Bethesda would show off Doom 2.
Yeah,
And Beyond
I did
Good and
have
Evil
Doom 2 in one of mine too, but whatever.
Did you?
Oh, like originally, and then I
He
took
didn't
off
say
because
it.
Miguel said it first.
And then me also with 3 having Death Stranding shown. It'll be a lengthy video, and we'll question if it's gameplay. And then Spider-Man will be shown off, and the main focus will be villains. And also,
Beyond-
Microsoft shows off a new Japanese IP, which we forgot to mention. Jump Force was shown off on Microsoft stage. It's the show and jump fighting game. I did get to play it, and it's pretty
I would
cool.
even count the FromSoft game. On
Yeah, they,
that,
show,
for the same
they showed
category.
off a lot of new
So that,
Japanese
I would
IPs.
actually I would count both. So
But yeah, Jump Force
that-
is cool for anime fans. 3v3 fighter with a shared health bar, which is very interesting. But yeah.
So that's going to do it for episode 57, but we are going to plug in that interview with Jeff and his friend, Roye is his name?
Yes, I got to stay by my friend Roye. He lives in LA's house for E3. He hosted me, and pretty much we had wildly different experience, me having the media badge, me setting up appointments for game, and him pretty much having the gamer pass, having to come into the show later than me, and having to wait on all the lines. So pretty much if you ever wanted to know what it's like, a media guy talking to a gamer, stay tuned and listen on this episode.
All right. Do you want to give our Patreon shout-outs real quick before we end?
Yeah, shout out. You could back us at a $2 more level to get shout-outed on patreon.com/psbestfriends. Thank you, Jake Malore, Nathaniel Hicks, and Jack Tersey once again for backing us this month.
You guys are the best, and we appreciate the continued support. Also, please don't forget to subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, preferably, but really any podcast service that you subscribe to. That's just going to give us a better chance at being seen on the charts, which is going to grow our community. And you can join us in that community by going to facebook.com/groups/psbestfriends. You can join us there, talk, ask us questions for the show there, which we would appreciate. We love having questions for the show. You can also join us on our Discord, which is linked into the group, so you can check us out there. And Miguel, where can people find you?
People can find me at PlayStation Network at DarkAngel1010 and at Twitter at AngelAlvarez10.
And Jeffrey, people can find you where?
You can find me on PSN Brawl96 and Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Mr. Brawl96. And remember to check my vlog series on PS Best Friends, where I talk about more games I got to play and impressions of those, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Mega Man 11.
So again, just go to youtube.com, punch in PS Best Friends, and we have an E3 playlist for you right there. That's all of Jeff's content.
I actually time-coded each video for each game where I spoke about it. So if you just want to know what he think about Kingdom Hearts 3, just go to that video, and it is in the time code, and you'll just jump to that, no bullshit.
Yeah, Jeff had a lot of really cool thoughts and impressions that he kind of did live, and he edited a lot of it, spent a lot of time on that. So if you wouldn't mind, we'd really appreciate you go checking that out. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Help us get that elusive custom URL. You can also find me on PSN, the only X188. That's also my gamer tag on Xbox. That's also my name on Steam. You can find me at Anthony Palm on Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot about the World Cup this past week, but I talk about games as well. Thanks again for listening in. This has been PS Best Friends episode 57. We will catch you all next week. No game time this week. We'll make sure to bring that back next week. It's just kind of action-packed. But stay tuned for Jeffrey's interview with his best bud coming up next.
Peace.
So I was waiting for.
What is up, everyone? I'm Jeffrey Mizrahi here today talking about E3, the Gamer Pass experience, the Media Pass experience, and really just what it's like for a first-timer going to E3, whether you're a media person or whether you're a gamer who paid for a pass to E3. I'm here today with my good friend Roye Bustan. Roye, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
So Roye is actually also my host for E3, my host in LA. I'm staying by his house for the duration of the week. E3 is now actually behind us, and now we're kind of just going to give a little recap on how it went for the both of us and how our experience was. So, Roye, tell me a little about how you got into E3. You know, what's your E3 experience, I guess?
This isn't my first year actually going to E3, but I've noticed that there's sort of a consistency, whereas if you come in as a gamer or as some sort of industry pass, you get a good couple of games in, especially during the first 2 days, but towards the end the place starts getting extremely crowded, and you might not even be able to get one game in, which has happened to me before.
So yeah, so you said this is not your first time, but so this is your first time doing the gamer. Last year you did the industry pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, would you say there's a big difference between those two, or the experience is more or less the same?
The experience is more or less the same. It's just the industry pass, you don't have to pay to get in, whereas the gamer pass, it's roughly $250, something like that, right?
Interesting. So you got the industry for free and dropped to $250 for the gamer pass this year?
Yeah.
And pretty much had the same experience?
Had essentially the same thing. I could actually do more with the industry pass, I think, last year.
Like what?
We could go to... I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's where they record certain interviews. We were able to sit in live for some of those interviews.
Okay, so at least you got some exclusive access with the industry pass that the gamer, I guess, wasn't granting you. So now you talked about not really playing that many games. So from my experience as media, I was since I registered with the ESA and got my badge, I was getting a bunch of emails from. I guess I was put on some list because I was getting a bunch of emails from PR teams, pretty much asking if I want to set up an appointment and play the game with them, allowing me to play around. I think I released 15 to 20 games at E3. So of course you weren't getting those PR emails. So how many games did you get to play at E3?
Got to play like a solid 6 games, and that was if I was lucky. Like on the first day, I managed to get to play. I think it was 4 games. And then on the second day, I got to play 2 games. And then on the third day, I didn't really play anything because I was waiting in line for one specific game and did not get to play it.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So, each game demo is really about 15, 20 minutes. So 4 demos, that's really not that much time. What were you doing, I guess, the rest of the time?
The rest of the time, there was a lot to look at and see. A lot of it was waiting, but also there was many cool different kiosks that we could just approach and take a look at. I mean, there was also Indiecade and things like
they had the Into the Pixel art exhibit. There's
that kind of stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of small things that we could do on the side while we were there. But if you're getting a gamer pass to play games at E3, don't expect it. It's more of a sightseeing type of thing.
Okay, yeah, but so let's just jump back on what you said for a second. Waiting. So you were definitely doing a lot of waiting. You'd say more waiting than playing games.
Oh yeah, for sure. For example, my brother and I, who came with me, he's been dying to play Kingdom Hearts 3. He's a diehard Square Enix fan, and we had to wait in line for I think 3.5 hours for 20 minutes of gameplay.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah.
So 3.5 hours was the longest wait you did at E3 this year.
There was the wait for Resident Evil 2, which I didn't even get into. Because they started capping lines on the second and third day,
they
would shoot people off, especially for Resident Evil 2, which was a popular game. They had security come in and get people off the walls near the game, near the...
Yeah, I saw they didn't really want people hovering around the area. They really tried keeping a tight, clean line.
Yeah, so what I did was on the third day is I would come back occasionally every half an hour, do a bunch of other stuff, maybe eat or just check my phone on Twitter, stuff like that. And then I would come back every 30 minutes or so, talk to the manager, see what's going on with the line, when they'll be letting people in. Initially they were like, oh, okay, once the line's halfway done, we'll let people in again. Then they changed their minds and they said, oh no, once the line's empty, we'll let everyone in. So I waited for a total of 4 hours just to get in to play this game.
Wow.
And the second they opened up, people started rushing in. It seemed like people were hiding in every single corner of the E3 area.
They were making sure that they were getting on that Resident Evil line.
Yeah,
first.
And right before I was able to enter, to be last on the line, they cut me off and they did another cap. So I waited for 4 hours for a 4-hour line, but didn't even get into the line.
Wow. So now it seems really like there's a lot of waiting. And I guess let's talk about the other thing. If you're not waiting as a gamer, you get to see the sights and you just get to experience E3. And some could argue that that's what you're paying for. You're paying for admission to this club, to this exclusive club that you get to see, stars like Corey. I was on the game floor and I bumped into Corey Barlog of God of War, the past God of War 2 and God of War 2018 director. I got to see. I know you passed by Jack Black. I get to see Charles Martinet of Mario, all on the ground floor where all gamers were had access to. So would you say maybe that's some consolation? At least you get to be exposed to these people, or
that was cool. But also on the first day, we were able to. I remember we reserved for Smash Bros. I think that there needs to be some sort of revamp in terms of how, if they're implementing gamers into the E3, system, some way so that everyone could actually play a game. Because some people don't even get to play games at the end of the day for some of the days. So I thought the fact that we could reserve and play for Smash Bros. Was really cool.
But even Sony had the same thing with their PlayStation Experience app, but that was just that was crap, and that was barely even working.
Yeah, that one didn't even work. If I recall, an hour before I could even reserve everything was full, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the digital queues are some fix, but maybe unless everyone uses it, because I even then saw Bethesda's booth, the Fallout experience, which wasn't even a game. The line to sign up digitally on like an iPad for reservation was like an hour long in itself. So, you know, those lines to go online, it seems like it's a real difficult issue to solve, but let's, I guess, talk about entry and just getting into the show. So last year I wasn't there. Last year industry, and last year they pretty much was a free-for-all, mixing up the gamers with the media people and having them all have to go through the same line and all have the same hours, correct?
I don't recall exactly what they did for media, but I do know that industry and gamers had to get in at the same time. Even though I know now that I think this year industry got to get in earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I recall. Cause yeah.
Was last year, like, I think this year they buffed up security. Was that an issue at all? Last year, industry and gamers were allowed to bring bags, correct, or no?
We were allowed to bring bags. That was not an issue. Security wasn't really uptight aside from that.
This year saying, or last year?
This year.
Okay.
They definitely have more security just walking around. I've never seen so many doggos in my life.
Yeah, a lot of security dogs in meeting room areas, on the show floor. But yeah, I could say the same, really. The security experience for me was extremely swift. The line to get in, there never really was any. The only lines I did see was before the gamer show hours. The gamer line was huge. Did you have to line up on that on Tuesday, on the first day?
Oh, no, not at all, because we came in a little bit late. The lines actually opened up pretty quickly. Those lines aren't much of a concern because last year I waited in line
to get into the convention.
To get into the convention, and they go by pretty quickly. That and the badge pickup.
All right, cool. So nothing to worry about there. All right, so let's, I guess, wrap it up. What would you say to a gamer, to someone who's always been dying to go to E3? E3 is this mecca of video games, this Super Bowl, Christmas of video games, and his only real access is to save up, and drop the $250 on a Gamer Pass. What would you say to that person who's wanting to do that?
For someone who is willing to drop $250 to go to E3, I think that they should go regardless because it's an interesting experience, but don't expect to be able to do everything. Don't even expect to do maybe 2 or 3 things. Just try to observe things more, try to take it all in, and try to network. I feel like that's more important than anything else if you're there, because you're going to see a lot of important people.
But that's kind of a thing also you notice with the just networking and like how people socialize. There's kind of the stigma towards people with the blue badges. So if you are media, you have a white badge with a little green thing on the bottom. If you're an exhibitor, you have pretty much like if someone that works like at Call of Duty or whatever and you're showing a game off, you have just a full white badge. If you're industry, you have a white badge with the yellow. But then if you're a gamer who paid the $250, you just have this all blue badge that kind of, singles you out as a gamer. Did you find any, I guess, not prejudice really, but like a discrimination by any of the the line people, the security?
For the line, for sure. Security, not so much. Security didn't really care.
Like booth security, I guess.
Yeah, the security was neutral about everything. But the line, yeah, people that were letting other people into lines, security, definitely there was a difference. Like I've noticed that like some industry people or media people would be let in right away, or they would cut in line and people would just not care. Whereas if a gamer did that, security right away just called on them. It's insane. Yeah, it kind of made me feel a little bit like a peasant. But
so even paying this much, you kind of still get singled out.
You do. Yeah, your best bet is getting in free by doing industry or doing media, honestly. But I mean, you could still get some things out of doing the Gamer Pass.
Yeah, so it's not completely worthless. All right, that's cool. That's been a good conversation. Any last thoughts on E3, your experience with the Gamer Pass, E3 as a whole? Yeah, it's what one. Yeah.
I thought it was a great year. Honestly, there's a lot of new and cool games coming out, and I'm honestly looking forward to getting to play some of them.
Awesome. Good talking to you, Roye. Thank you for listening. This has been Jeffrey Mizrahi once again, and have a great day.